So in regards to trusts, when you're dealing with trusts, there's two types. One is for asset protection, and the other is for to operate an administrative process. So, in the sense of you creating the irrevocable trust, your irrevocable trust serves a purpose for all of your assets. So, any asset you want to protect right now that you don't intend to actually sell or transfer later on would go into your irrevocable, because an irrevocable is meant for it to stay until the beneficiaries um, have now taken claim to it, right? So for anyone that has no assets, I always encourage they use an irrevocable, right? No, a revocable, right? You want to use a revocable living trust because at any time, whether it's 3 months or even next month or next week, whatever that may be, you can change and do an amendment and just and tweak it however many times you need to. You just need to record the minutes on that trust. So the revocable trust allows you to have flexibility, allows you to operate and process paperwork in the administrative process. For example, if I wanted to start doing things like 1099 paperwork and filing things with the IRS, I recommend a revocable living for the simple fact that it's mainly serves the purpose of you filling out paperwork and identifying yourself as the administrator. Does that make sense so far?
It does. Yeah.
So in your particular case, you having a irrevocable trust are not limited to setting up a irrevocable trust. I mean, a revocable trust. So you can set up a revocable living trust and simply use that just to administer all your documents to the government. So, for example, I don't know if you've already filled out a 2848 or a Form 56.
I have for sure Form 56. 2848, I'm not sure. You have to look and see. It's been a few
Okay.
years, so
So there's a way for us to check that, right? You would actually go to irs.gov and your ID me login, and you can
mhm.
actually pull up to see if they have a 2848 accepted on file. If they
Okay.
don't have one accepted on file, then you would simply just fill one out. And I actually share the steps that I use to fill out my power of attorney. This is the exact way I filed it. Um, So I got a video right here in the trust section. So all in the trust section, covering everything we're actually discussing. I have a video and I have, the documents with examples of how I filled it out, right? So obviously I have first the all caps name and then the lower caps name as the administrator. And I put my EIN and the CAF number.
Mhm.
All right. So this is located in the Free Yourself the Matrix campus, right in the trust section. So if you're needing to fill this out, you're more than welcome to just follow these instructions and just use the same template I did, right? But I have a video explaining all of it and just breaking it down to simplify it for everyone. So the reason why it's
Okay.
important to have that on file, right? The power of attorney is your control. If you don't have it on file, the IRS now has power of attorney over you to do things such as make adjustments to your taxes, etc. Because our job is to provide instructions to the IRS, and they are to do their part by following the instructions. And if they don't, then we can hold them accountable if we have a 2848 and a fiduciary form on file.
I will log in and check that for sure.
Okay. So that's really kind of the initial part of it. Now, in this particular campus, I have everything in order, Roger. So if you were to navigate to any other campus in this entire university, everything is in chronological order, right? So if you're going through one campus. I always recommend starting at the top because it's a story to tell, and one thing leads to the next, right? Because
Yep.
you're not going to need to know about EINs if you don't even understand what you need before the EIN. That's what the checklist is for, right? So there's a video here breaking everything down. So that's why I put everything in order intentionally, just to give people direction and also make things more organized and seamless for each of you. So in this particular campus, what I recommend is, one, I have all of the definitions of UCC, USC just to educate individuals on that piece. But on the topic of status correction, I cover specifically what I feel makes the most sense for status correction. So in my experience, what I've learned, one, from reading documents and books and also from applying this information, there's two types of individuals. One's a secured party creditor and one is a foreign national. The difference between the two of them, right, in the simplest form, is the secured party creditor can still operate in the private side while operating in the public, which means that you still operate under the U.S. citizen jurisdiction, where the foreign national actually strips all contracts from the U.S. citizen status and revokes all connection to that jurisdiction to operate completely in the private. That is the difference between the both of them. That is the simplest way I can put that. Now, there is no right or wrong which one you should do. It's all a matter of preference. And I always tell people, to read specifically which one they feel best suits them. Do they want to, operate more in both the private and the public, or do they rather just completely no longer want to do with, the public side? And what I mean by the public side is, for example, there's individuals who still follow the 1099 process and they still file their power of attorney. They still do all these things, but have a driver's license on hand because they don't want to deal with the police officers on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So individuals make that option to do that because if you think about it, right? Once you go into the private side, now you have to be armed with information, and not everyone's ready to defend themselves against these corporate guys who are in there for business, because that's all the police officers are. They're policy enforcers, and all these policy enforcers want to do is make money out of you. So that's why they issue you tickets, and if they have no way to do that, you're no longer a benefit to them, and they're going to give you a hard time.
Yeah, they're part of administering the commercial business.
Absolutely. So in this particular case, we're dealing with a situation where, if an individual is like, well, I still have time, I want to study this, I want to learn this, secure party creditor is a good way to start getting your foot into the door in the private side, in my opinion. But for foreign status, like foreign national, you're pretty much like stripping yourself from all connections to that. Like you don't even have like a driver's license. You're not going to have any registrations with them, because what all of those are contracts with the public, and they will use those against you. And they will assume that you are under contract in commerce unless proven otherwise. And how do you prove otherwise? By simply having this paperwork on file. You have your passport, you got your trust paperwork, you have your authenticated birth certificate. Like all those documents are simply your rebuttals, right? And a lot of people think that it's more of you got to just follow this process. No, you're simply following it because it's proof that you are no longer operating in that jurisdiction, but you have to argue your case and provide the paperwork to show
it. Yep.
Right. So that's mainly kind of like on that trust side. And to answer your question, right? So back to the initial one that you had brought up was LLCs. Okay. So in the LLC section, I also recommend still going through the initial parts, right? Because I cover personal finances, money. Why? Because a lot of people want to get into business and don't truly understand money, how it works, and they haven't done a personal reflection of how their money is working, right? So I'll give you an example. I shared my personal finance document right here, this balance sheet. I personally, this was from last year. I personally shared this with everyone to show them like, this is what I needed to do to determine like, what does it cost me to one, operate my business, and two, to live every month. Like I need to pay rent, I need a phone, right? I need food. Like what does that cost me? What's that number? If people can't actually regurgitate that number off their top of their head, they're not in tune with their expenses. And that's going to carry on to their LLC. They're not going to be in tune with how their business is operating, because if personal life ends up interfering with finances, they're going to end up using their business income to take care of their personal. You know what I'm saying? So I've
Yeah.
personally run into that. So having this calibration and slowing down and looking specifically into this part of your life is extremely important, because you will now become a successful business owner in the financing space, where you'll be able to actually manage your income and separate both your personal and your business, so that you can have a sustainable and a long living business. Because most people's businesses only fail because they like to commingle with their personal and their business. That is the only reason why most businesses fail. It's not that it's a statistical thing. It mainly comes down to people, one, they don't have the capital, right? That comes back down to business funding. And two, they don't know how to manage their money, and they're using the money that their business is making for expenses rather than to grow the business.
Yeah, I understand that they need to be separated for sure, and I do separate
Exactly.
them after many years. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure you do. I was trying to break down really how I structured this camp, because everything was put together very intentionally, because I was thinking about it in a way, well, if I was to teach someone brand new who never knew anything about business what they needed to get started, this is what I would need to know. So that's how I kind of built this out, to give people the exact step by step based off of all of my experiences. So in your particular case, because you want to start an LLC, this will be a great place for you to start in the business fundamental checklist, because not only am I giving people an idea of the potential costs, right? Because a lot of people go into thinking about starting a business, they don't even know what they need to save up, they don't know what they need to have set aside. So this is going to give people a really solid idea on how much it'll cost them. So from getting a virtual business address, which you will need, business email, web hosting, etc. I do explain some of the stuff that you don't need right away. So as you go through this checklist, you'll notice that, for example, not everyone needs to get a business phone number right away, right? Because the business phone number is not necessary, but what you do need to get is a virtual business address is step one,
okay,
right? So, but for individuals who plan to get a business phone number, now they know how much it'll cost them. They know it costs about $15. A business email costs you about $2, to start. Web hosting is roughly 25, $30 a month. And all these are expenses people don't think about when they're starting a business, and they don't plan for it. So I put this together intentionally to give people an idea. Hey, minimum, like have about $300-400 to start your first LLC, especially if you're going to end up setting up a business, because your business is what's going to cost you most of it. The other reoccurring expenses, it's only going to be about $50-60 a month. And depending on what state, right? I have this state checklist here that shows pretty much what it costs to file in each state. While I recommend that you pick a state like Delaware or Wyoming, for the simple fact that they have really good tax benefits. Delaware is really good with privacy and protecting LLC information. So they have really, really good perks, and they're fairly affordable to start. Personally, I have mine out of Wyoming and New Hampshire. Why do I have in New Hampshire? Because I started my first business in New Hampshire. So, and they have good tax benefits. So But Wyoming is one I would recommend for many individuals. Now, some people also wonder, well, if I'm gonna start in Wyoming, how do I do that? That's where the virtual business address comes in, right? So
So in Wyoming, do you just look for a virtual business address in a certain high-end area, maybe to
I'm
possibly
gonna show you
qualify?
I'm gonna show you exactly what to do. Okay. So you're gonna go and follow these steps. Okay. So first things first, what we do is we want to make sure our credit score is good. This is mainly for business funding. So you want to make sure your credit score is good, 700 plus, right? No derogatories. You have 6 primaries at minimum, and you have decent age. And I placed this calculator here to calculate trade lines. But if you watch this video, it actually breaks that down.
Okay.
Now, in this step 3 section, we're going to click this link. These are all active links. So we're going to click on iPostal, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So you're basically going to go and sign up for the $14.99 a month plan, which is the green plan. And you'll go right here to Wyoming. I click Wisconsin. So you go right to Wyoming, right? And now what you're looking for is a business address, right? Looking for the business address
And
with a
street
low.
address too, right?
Yes. So you're looking for a business address. So you have to find it. Let's see the
Yeah,
details
that's
on
very
this one.
straightforward. I like that.
It's pretty straightforward, right? Like it goes right to it. And the good thing about this is when they look you up, right? When you're being looked up, they're gonna pull you up and they're gonna see a brick and mortar location.
Wow.
So that's the idea of you setting up a virtual business address because one, it's not like you're gonna be operating out of your home. Banks like that. And two, it gives you a brick and mortar location. So when they search you up, they're going to see that that's where it's located.
And so you're separating business and personal. You want that LLC name to be something other than your name, obviously.
Absolutely. So when we go into the topic of names, it's what we call the NAICS code. So
Hmm.
when you name your business, you are potentially placing your name in a very specific NAICS code based on the name that you select. Now, these NAICS codes tend to be considered either one of two things, high risk or low risk. Now,
Right.
because
Yep, I saw that too. Yep.
absolutely. So, for example, I'll pick the first. If you decide to go into the tobacco business and you want to be, Eric's Tobacco store or Eric's Tobacco, immediately they're going to place you under this high risk code because you have a tobacco name in your title. So they're going to already consider you a tobacco business. But if I was to be named something like um, Eric's Enterprise and I offer tobacco services, now if I'm an enterprise, I can simply consider myself as a different type of business, whether that be a online. If I want to do electronic, if I want to do tobacco business online, I could do an online electronic shopping, or I can simply decide to be some type of retailer. But the idea is for you to pick a name that is hard to guess. Because I'm going to give you a couple examples. If you never heard this business name before, right? Like if you never heard about Walmart, would you know what Walmart is? Would you know what they sell?
Not really,
It's
no.
you can't. It's so difficult because it's not narrowed down to anything. Same thing with Home Depot, right? Even Lowe's or Kohl's. The reason these companies do that is because they understand the NAICS codes. And they can operate under very specific low-risk business NAICS codes. Now, you can change the code in your business, but you can't change your name unless you file an amendment, which it's going to cost you and it's going to take time. So in order to avoid those extra steps, you can pick a very generic name. I'll give you an example. I have a property management business for Airbnbs. It's called E&A LLC. Now, if I decided that property management wasn't working out, I can now change my code to being a human resource consulting business and still be E&A LLC.
Yep.
So that's why picking the right name really saves you from two things. It saves you from losing out on high limit funding, and it prevents you from ending up on the high risk radar for these banks.
Yep, exactly.
So this list pretty much helps give you guys an idea of some of the top ones. I always recommend either going through with like a consulting business or general management. If you are doing business online, electronic shopping is very low risk. It's what a lot of like e-commerce stores use. And then if you're going to do things like Airbnb, which we use this exact NAICS code, right? So these are like the top low risk I recommend. I actually found these on the IRS documents. I went to the IRS to find these exact codes. So I was able to put those together to share with you guys. And then these are all the high risk. So these are the ones to avoid. These are the ones to definitely stay away from because they are.
I love how you simplify the information to the point where this is important, and you have a knack for really getting to the point, and we get so much information overload, especially in this topic. It's extremely high. So I like the way you present.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That's the goal, is simplification, because none of this should be difficult. And because there's so much information out there and everyone is busy listening to each other and repeating each other, they're not doing the work for themselves. The goal is to just make it as simplified as possible. And I'm glad you find that simple for you. So on the topic of LLC, where to get one, and this one is also pretty important, right? So you can go to LegalZoom and apply for LLC. The reason I picked LegalZoom is because I personally use it for all my businesses. There's other ones like Zen Business, but I've never used them, so that's why I recommend what I've used. But when you go to LegalZoom and you apply for an LLC, they're going to try to upsell you on all these other services, and you want to hit no to all of them, because all you want to pay is the amount the state charges to file your business documents. So if Wyoming's is 100, at the end of your checkout, you should only be charged $100, because if you're charged any more than that, you clicked all the wrong buttons.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to offer you things like registered agent, all this other fun stuff, right? I actually share alternatives that you can do at a later time, because all this stuff for new businesses is not necessary. Like, a lot of people think they need to do things and be official from the very beginning. Well, why do you need to be official? You don't have a dime to the business name. Before you start to think about making official and thinking about taxes and all this other stuff, you need to have like consistent revenue, and then you can start thinking about using that revenue to reinvest it into that stuff. But until then, all you need is your LLC paperwork, your EIN, because that's what banks will need. That's what you need as a business to prove that you're established. And that's it. Those are the two most important things. Your LLC article of incorporation and your EIN. Those are the two most important things. And that's why it's the only two things I teach when it comes to LLCs in the beginning. Cool. That answers your question. So we covered so far your question around like the LLCs and then the trusts, and really what direction to take with trusts when we're dealing with revocable and irrevocable.
Yeah, that's excellent. I got homework to do. You pointed me in the right direction, so thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad you got something out of it. Yeah, and that's the benefit of the Q&A. And also, don't hesitate to drop it right in the chat. As you can see, I answer everyone's questions when they drop a Q&A question for everyone to read. And the reason I do that is because a lot of you guys have really good questions, and I don't want it to be, in my direct messages, and it's like a really good question everyone's going to benefit from. That's the real purpose of why I created this particular Q&A section, so everyone can go back and reread and get the value that I'm sharing.
Yep. Okay.
Cool, cool. Any other questions?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Perfect, perfect. Let's see who else hopped on. What's going on, Teddy?
Oh, what up? What up? Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. I can hear you perfect. Hey, we're doing a Q&A, so you can ask any question you want, and I'm gonna dive right into it.
Okay. I guess right now I'm at the point where I'm in the process of going to go get funded.
Perfect.
So
So
yeah, go ahead.
so perfect. So you actually want to go to this stage here. You want to go to the business funding checklist. So go to the business fundamentals, go to the business funding checklist, watch this video, and I revisit everything you need to get yourself funded. So I want you to picture this. I built this out in a way where you guys can use it like a shopping list. So I want you to look at this checklist and check off everything here in exact order. So you want to make sure your score is at least 700 plus, no late payments, no derogatories, right? Because the idea here is even if you don't meet all criteria, at least you'll know where you're at. You'll know specifically
What you need to work on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want you to use this checklist, check things off, see where you're at. Because then once you check all these buckets off, you're on step 3, man. Make sure you got that LLC set up. If you already got that done, you're moving right on to the next step, which is building your business credit, right? The reason you want to build your business credit is because over the next year or two, you're going to need to use your business credit. But in the meantime, you're going to personal guarantee everything under your personal credit. That's why you want to set that up.
Gotcha. So look,
Right?
let me ask you, what's the so right now, my thing is, you know how I don't know if you talk about it, but people talk about comparable credit. Like you need to have like $2,500 credit cards already before you really can go for some business funding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's true. That's where it actually shares that here. You want at least about 5K worth of total credit card available.
Yeah.
So because what they do with the comparable credit, because not everyone is going to have like a 10K limit right away. Like some people
Yeah.
are like, they just finished building their credit or repairing their credit. Now they're rebuilding. So what I recommend is, let's say, for example, you're in a situation where you're rebuilding. You can actually leverage things such as Navy Federal Services. Where's that video I shared? This Navy Federal, I showed you guys this video of this gentleman actually, he opened up a Navy Federal without having any relationships. So he did that by simply following what's in this video.
Yeah.
And I give this to you because Navy Federal has what's called a pledge loan. And the pledge
Yeah.
loan is used if you have even a little bit of money. Say you got 500, 1,000, you
Yeah.
can start using pledge loans. Like, let's say I have 1,000 in the bank. I'm going to use 500 to take out a loan of my own money and then use the other half to pay 90% of it off in 1 month.
Yeah.
So if I've taken out a $500 loan, I'm going to pay 400 that first month, and then I'm going to make minimum payments for the rest of that term of the loan. Now you have a 90% off paid off loan with Navy Fed. 2, you also are going to have on-time payments for the rest of the year on that loan that you're using your own money for. And once you paid it, you're getting all that money back. It's still in the account. It's your
Yeah.
money still. It's just that you're leveraging it. But now it's giving you a trade line you don't need to go apply for. You don't need to add an inquiry for that. You don't need to actually owe money for that. You understand? You're leveraging your own money.
Yeah.
So you're getting 3 wins out of it. You're building a relationship with Navy Fed. You're building on-time payments. And you're adding a primary to your account. So you have 3
Yeah.
wins by simply making that one move. Now, with Navy Federal, you do that a few times. After 90 days, you open up a business checking account and you got all your paperwork in order. They'll give you $25K from the get-go.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm right there. So I just got approved for like a 6,500 card. So I'm gonna use that for the players loan. And that card
Oh,
actually,
bro.
yeah, that card actually came today. Ironically,
Mhm.
it came in the mail today, so I activated it.
Is it
And
is it on a bit on your business or is it for a personal?
nah, that was just personal.
Personal?
That was
Okay.
just personal. Yeah, I
So,
got my girl a 10K and I got a 65K. So I
man,
mean
you're in a good
a
spot.
6.5. Yeah,
You're in a good
yeah,
spot. You're close.
yeah. I told you
You
I
gotta
wasn't playing. Yeah,
yeah,
I won't be playing. Yeah, yeah,
you got a few months of strategic playing around to get to those
now. Yeah,
25, 50K lines of credit. You just have to leverage that money you have now. So I'm gonna explain this. Why you can actually leverage half of that card for your pledge loan, right? And I'm going to explain to you before you leverage it, make sure you have primary trade lines such as AVA, such as Credit Strong, to give
I
you
got
a
them. Yeah,
buffer on your utilization. Because if you add these primaries on your account, you can add an upwards of up to 5,000 to 7,000 as a
yeah,
buffer. So if you max out that $6,500 card, you're not going to hit anywhere past
yeah.
that
It won't be that bad.
50%
Yeah,
threshold, right?
I
So
was gonna use my girl. I was gonna focus on my girls. She got the better credit. I'm still messed up with age. The age still killing me. So I'm gonna use the
So I'm
card
gonna give
to
you a secret with
yeah,
the age.
yeah.
With the age, you can wait till the last minute with that and get you and buy you a trade line. That's it.
Got you.
You don't need to because you want to buy you a trade line from these companies that I share here. These you can
Trade
get one
line
from
supply. Yeah, yeah. I
Trade
seen
Line
them. I've
Supply
been looking
or
at them.
even
Yeah,
Trade Line Works is really good. They're really reliable. I personally use
yeah.
them. I actually recently used them. Um, and trade line supply is also good. So you
Right.
can actually at the end say you're 1 month away from applying for funding, just buy
Go
one
ahead
of
and throw it
these
on there.
trade
Got
lines, throw it on there with age. But I want to show you a cheat code that I
you.
share
Yeah.
with you guys here. So you want to use this trade line calculator, which is actually available. It's actually available on tradelinesupply.com. So it's here, the trade line calculator. So
All
for
right.
example, you're trying
I
to
ain't even
measure
see that
your
on it. That's
age.
crazy.
Yeah, I got a lot of gems on here, man. A lot
Yeah.
of people
That's
underestimate this.
yeah.
So this trade line calculator, right now, let's say you got 5 accounts, right? And one of them is 1 year old, one of them is 2 years old, one of them is 3 years old, and the other one is 5 months old. Now you know what your average age is. Now you can type in the type of trade line you need to add to get to that 5-7 years. So if I want to add a 15-year, it'll get me to 4.5.
I got you. Okay.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm
I need to
saying?
do that ASAP. Yeah,
If I
cause
get
I
a
got a lot of new accounts.
exactly, so if I get
That's
like
killing me. Yeah.
a 25-year-old, it'll put me at 6 years.
Got you.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So because they go based off the average, right? They go based off
Yeah.
average. So
Damn.
this trade line calculator, it's gonna give you everything you need without having to do the math. It's already calculating it for you.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I need that trade line bad. That and
Absolutely.
that's really and then so what do you feel because what do you feel about waiting to go like I heard like a 90-day cycle? Like you want to give it time, just put money in there, a little bit of time, and then go get the money. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm going to explain to you how it works. With banks, it's just a matter of relationship. So if you already been with the bank for years, you don't need to wait any
Yeah,
90 days. Once you set up your business bank
yeah.
account, your checking,
You go
you
ahead and
put a
go.
little
Yeah,
bit of the money in there for 2 weeks, you're good to
I
go,
got.
man.
Yeah, I just made these accounts within the last 30 days.
Yep. Exactly. So you could do it within 2 weeks. I recommend putting at least 2K in there, at least,
Yeah.
because that 2K will get you those big limits right off the
Yeah.
bat. Because not only going to see you have liquid, you also could prove you have high limits available. You have good usage. You have all these other good factors. They're
Yeah.
going to be more than open to give it to you. It's the people who don't have any liquid or a little bit, even like 500 to 1,000 in there.
Yeah. Put you good position.
It's
Yeah.
good for you to start because they're going to also look at your revenue.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say this, man. Yo campus is fire, bro. Like from day one, the way I was disputing before I like started messing with it, man, it was crazy. It's like way faster. Your information crazy, and you see, I'm bringing people like I'm telling everybody about it. Like, man,
I'm
y'all
seeing it.
join.
You're
Yeah,
taking advantage
yeah,
of the
yeah, bro.
50%, man. That's
I don't even think
amazing.
I'm.
Yeah,
I don't even think I've been doing that, man. I just been telling people
nah, trust
just to
me.
come on. Yeah,
Your membership's already paid for it through your referrals. I mean,
man, that's crazy. Yeah,
because I didn't even know that they offered that much they gave me that opportunity to offer referral percentages.
yeah.
I didn't even know that. I saw it and then they updated it to like 50%. I just maxed it out.
I thought you had to start a community. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
you just have to go right here to I believe I shared a picture. It's right here. You follow
I
these
seen it. Yeah,
pictures. Yeah, it has a link and invite. And you have a very unique link for yourself,
I got you.
right? And your link, you simply just want to invite people. And once you invite them,
Yeah, you get credit for it.
you're gonna
That's
get
lit.
literally
Yeah,
50% of their subscription every month is gonna go to you.
that's crazy.
So you're
You know, you
already
have to pay
getting
that shit.
50%
Yeah,
of every commission
I
of
I
every
didn't use it,
subscription.
bro. I ain't use it. I ain't know. I mean, I'd seen it, but I ain't really like look into it. But it's all good though. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I ain't even tripped on it.
there's a couple people that are linked to you.
Oh, for real? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For sure, then. For sure, then. Let's go. But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
So yeah,
I'm with it.
for sure. Yeah, that's what that link is for. You have everyone here has their own unique link. They just need to if they have an individual that wants to take advantage of this, they might as
Yeah,
well share their own link and have their membership covered. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a great opportunity for people because mind you, imagine you have two referrals, you're not paying anything and you're getting all this value.
that's it.
Like
Free game. Yeah, crazy, crazy. Hey, look. Do anybody else have a question? I don't want to hog up all the time. If they don't, I'm gonna answer something else.
hey Roger, did you have any other questions?
No, I'm
Oh,
just listening and enjoying you guys talk,
oh,
and
okay.
really
So
appreciate your
Awesome.
time here.
for
Oh,
sure.
for sure, for
So
sure.
so the also too. I'm going in two directions. One direction, I'm doing the credit repair. That's straight. I'm making money off that. I want to get into like a funding business. Like I want to do you talk about how to start a funding business in there? Not like the process, but like the whole
Yeah.
behind it. Yeah,
I have all the stuff set up. I even have funding contracts I can share, you know what I'm saying? So that people
it's
can get
already in
off the
there.
ground with it.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'm gonna teach you something about the funding business. I'm gonna teach you something. So, and this is all game, right? So
yeah,
when it comes to the funding business, what I recommend is running advertisements for funding.
yeah,
And but you have to have a system set up on the back end that filters out good candidates and bad candidates because you'll find that most of your funding clients or funding prospects need credit repair services or building services. So you're going to sell them from the credit repair building services all the way up until the funding.
yeah. Get money all the way down. Yeah,
So to start a funding business, you're not necessarily going to be going after funding. You're going to be going after clients who more than likely are going to need it. I'd say about 70% of people who tend to want to get funded need some type of repair service or building
yeah,
service.
yeah. Definitely.
So
Yeah,
what you can do is I'm in the middle of having some new advertisements built out. I'm gonna have them launched this week because this university was built organically. I'm gonna start running ads this week, not only through YouTube but through IG and also through Facebook.
Yeah.
But I'm going to share some examples with you guys of how I do advertisements. I actually am in the middle of building out the Facebook and Instagram ad campus. As you can see, I have information already put together on how to set up Meta Business. I'm in the middle of, wrapping that up. Okay. So what that's going to do is teach people how to run advertisements effectively to grow their business. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you guys are making good money, you guys could be making double, even triple running ads. If you're
Crazy.
taking your
Yeah.
revenue now and you're just putting it into ads, you will never wake up without a customer.
Yeah, because I'm doing everything like organic now, but it's more so word of mouth. Like everybody
I'm gonna
hearing,
tell you
yeah,
right now, man, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. But you need good systems, and that's what I teach here. I teach you guys here, before you do run ads, I recommend you make sure you have all these systems set up for your business.
yeah.
That you have,
I need that because the way I'm
yep.
doing it now, I'm getting it's getting too busy. Like I'm like, man, I gotta do all these disputes. Like I need the systems.
Yeah,
I
you
was
need
looking
the
at that yesterday.
systems.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a team, and I'll tell you where I felt overwhelmed, where I needed a team. So I was managing up to 50 clients at a time myself alone,
That's crazy.
which was
Yeah, that's crazy.
overwhelming,
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
I was still able to get the results. Like I was working overtime, and like it was so much work. That's when I decided to bring on an assistant to manage the emailing, the onboarding, the agreements. Once I got that stuff out of my plate, oh my gosh, I was able to focus on my sales calls. I was able to focus on tweaking ads and building all of this other stuff out. So before you decide to start running ads to drive traffic for funding,
Yeah.
etc., I recommend putting together that system. Once you have the system, and then now you can start dumping money into your business. And I'm telling you right now, I did the opposite. I was running ads. I had so many clients, I had to stop running ads because I was
Crazy.
losing money. I
Crazy.
was losing money. My DM,
Yeah.
I had so much money in my DM, but I kept burning money because I wasn't going back and following up my old ones because I was trying to keep up with my new ones. And it wasn't sustainable and it was a waste of money.
Dang.
Right. So yeah, I'm telling you, when you run
Yeah,
ads,
I need that.
it's game changer, but because you have organic, I'm gonna tell you why you're in a really good spot. Because you have an organic foundation, if your ads ever shut down, you still have business.
Gotcha.
Right. So always maintain your organic like I do, right? I built everything organic. I built my following organic. I built all the university organic. Everything's been organic. I still run ads for my credit repair business, but at one point I shut it down for 6 months. Like I was just all organic because I didn't have the right systems. And that's where I built all of this out. I built even text messaging system. I was sending 100 DMs a day and I was manually writing them until I ran into this. And I just simply copy and paste my scripts. I have scripts for everything. Everything is a script.
Yeah, I definitely need
saying?
that. Yeah, I need that.
So,
I need to get on that ASAP.
Absolutely. So like I tell you, let me show you an example because I'll show you an example. So my Instagram, my messages, because I have all of my leads come through. I don't know if I'll be able to filter it here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able, but I'll show you how it separates them from clients to ads. So I have like certain, see like these ones here. See all these ad inquiries?
Yeah.
All these ad,
It say
ad
new
inquiry, ad
inquiry. It say
inquiry.
new inquiry. That's crazy. Yeah.
All these are ad inquiries, bro. Like I have ads, they're all coming to my DM. They're reaching out to me and look at all these follow-up scripts. Boom, boom, boom. I'm following up, bro. Like these are all templates. I'm not typing any of this.
That's crazy.
So, hey,
it's
look,
automatic.
Follow up.
Oh.
So I actually manually follow up, but I have a system that allows me to just click and paste, copy, paste, send, copy.
Gotcha.
I don't type anything. Same thing here. Look, I follow up with this guy. These are all my leads that I was wasting money on, right? I'd follow up, right? Look at that, following up. The money's in the follow-up, guys. And I'm showing you guys firsthand. Look, it took me from June, so it's almost a month to get her phone number. Look at that.
Yeah, oh, I know. It's like they be circling so much. It's like, just
So
go
that's why
for it.
you have to
Yeah,
follow up, because if
yeah.
I didn't follow, I would never got on our phone
You wouldn't
call.
got that money. Yeah,
You understand? So this is me showing you guys like these leads are coming straight to my DM. Well, I want to fix my credit. Boom, boom, boom. All script, right? Calendar. And these are all different things I was doing. Follow up. Now, it looks a little bit different on my phone, but I'd be able to filter just the ad inquiries for you to see. But these are
yeah.
just ads, right? And I have a lot of DMs because I was running ads, right? Look, all scripts.
That's crazy.
Follow up. So these are all leads that will come right to your DM by running ads through Facebook into your DM, so they deal with you directly. And then another thing I share is you want to make sure you do have that online social media presence. Like I recommend, obviously, looking at my Instagram to see my highlights, because if you look at the highlights that I have on my profile, I literally have all my results. So I pinned my ads, client testimonial, right? All my results. And then I have content all over here, like branding different, like I cover
Hmm.
topics, I cover everything, fitness,
I got
lifestyle, everything, right? Because this is my brand, right?
so
I'm
those
selling.
ideas, you come up with them, or they kind of you get the ideas from the ads,
So what type of ideas?
just like the like type of content,
So
like
there's a couple things I've done. I've looked at high performing individuals and saw what they were doing, and they have high quality photos. They give a lot of value. So like, for example, I click on this picture. It's not just a picture of me, it's a picture of results. It's a picture
I
of more
got you,
results,
I got
more
you. Yeah, it ain't just
results,
you. I
more
got you.
results, right? And then I also give a lot of value. So I'll give you another example. Like this one, I literally teach people how to literally take care of a judgment in a post. I tell them exactly what to do. Head to the court, file a motion to vacate. Why? This is why. Move on to the next step.
Got you. Yeah,
They're gonna do
you giving out
exactly
value,
this. I'm giving so much value while obviously I'm
but like they're
sharing the
not gonna do it.
lifestyle.
They just go DM you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So, I blend a little bit of everything because people like that. It's Instagram. So they want to see your lifestyle, because a
I'm
lot
about
of
to go.
people are
I'm
not
about to
going to
go follow
buy
you.
from people.
I don't
A lot
think
of
I
people are
follow
not going
you.
to buy from you if you're not practicing what you preach. You know what I'm saying? And they look at it from a trust factor, right? They look at all of the content, they look at the value from a trust factor. So, like, if they wanted to see our results from our credit space, they click on this, and I'm going to show you how I have so many testimonials, like I lost track, right? I
What
think
is
I
it?
have,
It was E-money.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, I'll show you in just a sec. But look at how many testimonials I have just from this one slide. This is one slide of
Yeah.
testimonials,
Yeah.
right? And I just keep going and going and going. Like all these are testimonials, results,
Yeah.
results. So people don't need to actually talk to me to see there's
You
results
know
in
what you're
all of
doing.
these
Hmm.
tabs, right? And there's
Gotcha.
results in everything. My Airbnb business, I have results in. I have results from my fitness. I have results. I have also my travel posts. I have all of it, right? Because it's a
Yeah.
little bit of both. Um, but the whole idea of you setting up your and optimizing your profile, so when you run your ads, people can click on it and they like gonna decide right away if they should buy from you or not.
Yeah. I need to lock in on that campus. I know it's one of the newer ones, and I've been like so busy. I ain't really been like I basically been taking everything I've been learning and applying it. So I ain't really been able to really
You're
learn
doing all
nothing
the
new.
right
And I'm
things,
kind of like,
man,
man,
because
yeah.
yeah, you do. I do recommend, slowing down and looking at what the rest of this material, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of hidden gems in here, and you guys are giving me ideas that I should intentionally just do calls on specific parts of the campus. I should definitely do specific calls on
And
parts of the
then
campus because it's very eye-opening.
yeah, because it's certain stuff like I thought, I ain't know that all that was in there. But also too, I've been trying to get around to the bill minute stuff, but it's like It's like it's all a time thing. Trying to do so much at one time, but
You
I'm
got the
definitely gonna
right
get.
idea, my brother.
Yeah,
Just crawl,
yeah,
crawl before you can walk, and you'll be walking in no
yeah.
time, man. You'll be walking in no
Oh, for
time.
sure.
You just have to master one thing at a time.
I got you. Oh, I'm
You
with it.
know,
I'm on it, man. Yeah,
because you're well on your way. You've already you've seen a lot of success implementing the steps in the campus. You're learning a lot. You know, applying
yeah,
it every day. You're only gonna get better, and it's gonna be much easier for you to move on to the next thing. So you're not feeling like you're all over the place.
yeah. I'm gonna go post
Yeah,
them. I'm gonna go post some results on the campus too. I'm gonna go
absolutely.
post some little credit card results and some
Let's
deletions. I'll be getting
go.
crazy
Let's
deletions though.
go.
Yeah, definitely. For sure, man. But hey, look, man, I definitely appreciate you, man. Like this
Oh, for
this thing right
sure.
here was definitely game changing. It's just how you lay it out. Like my man was saying earlier, like you real detailed to that. Like that makes it a whole lot easier. Yeah.
Yes, sir. That comes from it's who I am, right?
Yeah.
I'm very detail oriented and I'm very punctual. I like to be thorough with it because what I've noticed is trying to learn from individuals in the internet. I've spent thousands of dollars on mentorships, and they don't actually, one, simplify it, and two, a lot of it's fluff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's fluff. Like the information I share in the business funding campus, people will pay like a $10,000 mentorship just to get this info.
Yeah.
Like, and you'll be very surprised with once you pay for that mentorship, you'll be like, this is
Man, I
it.
could have. Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy.
this
Yeah.
is it. I paid 10,000 for this. Like, I thought I was paying for like real value. No, this is stuff that I'm given because I've gone through these experiences. And that's why I even
Yeah.
share the relationship manager thing, because to start a funding business, you're going to need to build relationships with banks and business and relationship managers.
Yeah.
And I built one. I built a couple with Chase and Citizens, like two in the town I was in, because I was on the ground doing that. I was like, damn, these funding companies, no wonder why they charge what they charge, is because they're doing it on the ground at a high level. They're going everywhere and they're building these relationships, and that takes time. So you're paying for
Mm.
the time it took for them to
All
build
that.
those relationships. This
Hmm.
information is everywhere. You can get this information anywhere. The ticket is this one. This is where they're able to get those people those high limit accesses in a
Relationship
click of a
managers.
button, is because
That's
of
it.
those relationship managers,
Oh, stop.
right? I'm just teaching you guys how to go in there ready to go with like no
Hmm.
questions asked. You just need that relationship manager to pull the plug.
Gotcha.
Wow, Eric, it's funny. I'm kind of just dazzled by your technique with the credit repair. I had no idea that you run this as a business and you know how to do the automation. I saw that, but I don't have the status in the group to click in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah. This is the business automation is giving you guys literally everything, guys. What I use in my system, what's successfully allowing me to literally operate every day. Like I can wake up every day and I don't have to worry about processing a dispute for anyone. I get updates every day from my team. Like, okay, this has been updated today. This person's being processed tomorrow. This person's been onboarded. Like I have systems, guys, and it's changed everything for me, because that's why I can give you guys so much time and I can give this university so much time, is because my team is using this very exact campus to literally process disputes. My team
oh
comes
my God,
here
I spend my
and they
whole
follow
life
these
in this.
steps to
Yeah.
to process disputes.
That's
Mm.
crazy. Hey, look.
So
Since we speaking about processing food, I got another question. All right. Excuse me. I don't. I'm eating. But so when I first started, I was freezing all the secondary bureaus, right? And
yep,
it was basically taking me about a week because you want to freeze them and you want to let it like cycle through, I guess.
yep.
Um, and so I just tried it with the last couple people I've been working with. I have not been freezing anything, and I just been going through with the 605B. And
Mm-hmm.
the accounts been getting removed, but they've been getting reinstated more. You think that
Yes,
come
that's
from
because they have
not freezing?
access to go back into verify.
I got you. I got you. Yeah. So I need to just keep on freezing them.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
I
a
got
it's a
you. Yeah.
really and and this is why I teach the way I teach, because it's very methodical. Guys, I ran into
Hmm.
this the hard way too.
Gotcha. Yeah. I
right?
got you.
That's why it's everything is step by step. You need to know the
Mhm.
basics. You need to have a very general knowledge understanding. So like when things hit the fan, you're like not guessing. Like, there's no guessing game.
Gotcha. Yeah.
See, now you know that they're reinstating
Mhm. Yeah.
because you did both. You did it
Yep.
without and you did it with, and you're getting that experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And I
saying? So
seen it.
that's
I just noticed like, damn, these accounts coming back. Like,
yeah,
score.
it's because they're going back
Yeah.
and they're verifying because they have a
Gotcha.
way to do it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Further.
And I did recently put an update that I believe it was ARS is no longer uh, there. So
Yeah.
ARS
Yeah.
is no longer there. So I updated that. But all these links should be up to date and be good to go. These
Yep.
are all the common ones to freeze.
Oh yeah. I've been yeah. I basically I was going straight up that list. But yo, your
Exactly.
stuff is great, bro. Yeah, I was going straight down that list with the freezer. I'm gonna start back doing it. Starting back tomorrow.
Oh, for sure, my brother, for sure. You know,
Yeah.
I actually like you can even have the clients do this for themselves. Like say, hey,
So I
as a complimentary, like we're gonna offer you, you know, an opt-out list, but you need to go through and just follow these steps and they can opt out themselves because they need to know how to do it so they can because what you don't want
opt
them to
in.
do is call you later on and say, hey, I need to unfreeze it. How do I do it? You want them to learn how they do it.
Yeah. So when I first started, I had people I would tell them to do it, but I wasn't closing like I wasn't closing nobody. So I finally was like, man, I just do it for you. So I do it for them, and then I just unfreeze it when I'm done. Because
That makes
it was
sense.
like your people was lazy. I guess the people I was dealing with, you know how it goes. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
they
They
are.
want
They are. They
to, yeah,
are. What I would do is if I was you, you know what the type of results it would yield. You can just lay it out in the very beginning and say, hey, look, a lot of these companies like to go back and verify using these exact
gotcha.
bureaus.
Hmm.
So in order for these items not to come back, you know, if you follow these, it's a lot less likely that anything will be, you know,
Yeah,
refurnished on your account. Because what ends up happening is when you do this, what these companies end up alternately having to do, like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, they end up uh, they end up refurnishing it with different information, like a new name. Man, I couldn't even tell you how many times I've seen it happen. I've seen accounts like Sloan/Nelnet be reinstated as Department of Nelnet. Like, bro,
that's crazy.
that's fraud at the highest level. Like, if that's not fraud, it's I don't know what it is, because
Yeah.
because what ends up happening is you've disputed it, but then they now
Mhm.
refurnish it as a different account name
Put it
with
back
different
on there.
information. It's like
That's that's
in
crazy.
different, it's unbelievable. I've seen everything. And that's why I was like, that's why we could use the affidavit because the affidavit
Mhm.
is the most powerful tool. And the reason I teach the FTC process, because everyone thinks that they're filing identity theft, but they don't understand what the affidavit is and they don't understand what it's used for. Once you file an affidavit, it's not on you to prove that you were a victim of anything. It's for the
From them.
bureaus to prove that you weren't.
Yeah,
The same
exactly.
way you're disputing the item and saying, well, this item is inaccurate, it's for them to prove that it is accurate. You understand? So,
Exactly.
since when is the obligation on you to ever prove anything when you never even put that information there in the first place?
Yeah. I met
So, that's why I teach the way I teach because people don't understand the basics, the fundamentals. And anyone that's on the internet like stating things, I'm always the advocate of if somebody has something to teach, like they should have a way to actually point you to the actual facts so you can read yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And give
You did a
everyone the
call
tools
on
they
it.
need.
You did a
Exactly.
call a couple weeks ago. I was on the call. Yeah, that was a good call. I think
Absolutely.
somebody said something in the chat about it, and you was like, "Man, let me go ahead and straighten it on that right quick."
Yeah, and that was because, it's not that people it's not that people are believing, it's more of like it's just a lack of understanding and
Mhm.
because there's no one really explaining this stuff and there's no one
Yeah,
actually reading a lot of the information and breaking it down, so people will listen to people to individuals on the internet and take their word for it and think that it actually means anything when there's no actual proof in what they said.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I see a lot of individuals say, hey, you can go to a bank with an LLC and a 700 and get 250 in 2 weeks. Okay. How? Like, they don't even explain it. They little do you know,
Exactly.
there's way more to it.
The
There's
process.
so much
Yeah,
more
yeah.
to it.
Yeah, because everybody be doing it if it was that easy.
I've
It's the
seen people
process.
get denied with 750 credit scores.
Yeah.
Why? Because they got one account on their credit.
Mhm.
They got a
I
750 on one account, and it's like you have no history.
Yep.
You have a secure card for $500, 750 credit score. Whether that's a good score, it doesn't mean
don't
anything
know.
to the banks because you're asking them for 5, 10K. They don't know what you're capable of, so they're gonna deny you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's why it's important to have a strong foundation. And the university is built to teach and give everyone that foundation, because my goal isn't to just get people remedy, because it's easy for me to just give people hacks. Like I could have been on the internet selling these hacks, right? But I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
these hacks are not only common, but they're a very temporary solution, because if you have more than collections, you still have more work to do.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to take care of charge. You need to still learn how to take care of a
Late
bankruptcy. You still
payments.
learn how to,
To actually fight a late payment and not just delete it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But there's people out there who are, they had good credit and somebody just tossed a collection on there from like years ago. And now their score dipped and they're going to benefit from these hacks. It's really quick resolution for them rather than paying somebody, thousands of dollars to remove a simple collection.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And now you guys can take this and change your family's life with it for $50.
Yeah. And the price crazy. That's why I tell everybody, man, y'all better hurry me get in here before you start jacking the price up. That's crazy. I appreciate you though, man.
For
I
sure, for
appreciate you,
sure.
man.
I'm glad you guys are getting, a lot out of the university. It's
Yeah.
not that I started this in the end of last August, so it's not even a year old. So imagine all this info we got in here, and it's not even a year old. In
Yeah.
another 6 months, you guys are going to learn how to litigate. You're going to be litigating and turning bad information into checks. You guys are going to be running ads. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Man, keep working, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I promise I am. I'm on this every single day. Like
Awesome,
I
man.
call out of work and stay home and be on this, like for real. So I definitely appreciate
Yeah,
it,
man, because you've seen the potential in making and there's a reason why it's called we emphasize in escaping the matrix and financial freedom, because the moment you turn this information, because remember, the difference between you and freedom is information. Because the information you have is a solution to someone's problem. And I teach this, I teach this in the money campus. And I say it right here. I said, you guys want to be free, right? Because I work at the beach every day. I take my laptop, go work. I put my feet in the sand. I work all day. Yeah, I'm building this campus out at the beach, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm sharing here is, here's the wealth formula, right? You find a problem, right? So people have bad credit, right? I need you to ask yourself this, guys. The United States of America, it's fiat, right? Its currency is backed by what? Full faith in credit. So where do you think credit's going? Where's credit going? Where is it going in a recession?
It's going up.
It's going nowhere.
No, it's going there. Oh, you say it's going up.
It's there forever.
Okay, I get it. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have a recession-proof business model.
It's already established. Yeah, it ain't going nowhere. Yeah.
You have a recession-proof business model. The United States of America is backed by full faith in credit, its currency. So you have a solution to help people's credit.
How many people is it with bad credit, poor credit in the country?
It's too many, man.
Crazy, yeah.
It's too many. I mean, I could think of. I mean, I've helped wealthy individuals, right? Like I fixed people's credit, and they got millions of dollars worth of assets on their credit profile. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? The highest I seen was like 4.5 million in assets. I was like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
I'm fixing this dude's credit and he's got all these assets.
Crazy.
And he had like a couple collections on there. I'm like, damn. Right? You'd be surprised, man. Like there's individuals out there that, you know, they don't have this information and you have the solution to it. And now imagine I have a credit profile with 4 million in assets, and I can't use it because I have a negative rating.
That is crazy. If I pay whatever for you to get that.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So the whole idea here is the wealth formula is you find the problem in the market, you create the solution, and now you sell it to as many people as possible. And that's how you get rich.
That's crazy.
That's how you get rich, guys. You don't need to be Bill Gates and build a computer company or anything like that, right? You just need to find one problem, you know, double down on it, and make sure a lot of people know that you can solve them, right?
Yep.
That's it. Whether, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether you're in the business of, you know, selling, you know, physical products online, or whether you're in the business of consulting individuals and you know, social media marketing, whatever that may be, it's the same formula. What's their problem, and how many people can you get it in front of their face of so they can exchange energy, aka money, for it? Because you have that information. So you can see how this entire university ties into each other. Like I teach all of this stuff in the very beginning because I'm like, guys, it's the boring stuff that a lot of us don't like to pay attention to. And I simplified it, right? Even the basics of money. You know, a lot of people, they rather ignore their situation because it's too much of a pain to feel and endure, right? So if I know that I have a bill problem, I'm going to ignore my bills for as long as I can so I don't have to feel it.
Yeah.
So in order for you to face it, you gotta have to go up against it, you know, instead of ignoring like, hey, I need to slow down on my spending. I need to do X, Y, and Z, because all of these basic money lessons and understanding the financial literacy of how money and energy works is key to being free. You need it in order to take it to the next step, in order to run a successful business, because it's all tied together. It's all interconnected. There is no separation. Money is completely spiritual because it's all energy. When you're aligned with what your goal is, you're aligned with what you want to do, right? Like right now, Teddy, for example, you're aligned with the fact that you're like, man, I'm like all in on learning this information, and now you're applying it, and it's all energetically coming back to you. You're getting results.
You're right.
Getting more referrals. It's all energetically aligned. Now, if you're not aligned and you're bouncing from one place to the next, your energy is not aligned.
Definitely, man.
Right, so
yeah, now you 100% right, bro. I'm putting forth that energy and that brain power, and like I say, just this week, last week I got 16,000 in credit in my household between me and my girl. You know what I'm saying? And not the money I don't made from the credit repair. I don't made probably close to 4,000 in just credit repair, and I've only been doing this since March. Yeah,
just the beginning.
Yeah, it's like, man, this
a year from now, you're gonna be in a completely different space. If you stay locked in, a year from now, you wouldn't even recognize it.
Man, I told you I'm with it. So I think I seen one video you had on YouTube about bill remittance, and I signed up immediately. I said, oh yeah, but he look at things a little bit different. Let me go ahead and lock you in. But for sure, man,
that's right. That's
bro.
right.
I'm on it. Yeah, I'm definitely on it. And the fact that you still like growing too. You know what I'm saying? It's like you like, man, I'm still applying and doing this stuff too. So I'm only, a
Oh
couple.
man, I'm not teaching anything I just learned
Yeah,
from a book, man. Like you
I
guys are
got you.
getting
Yeah,
raw, live, uncut like version of the material. Like when I give updates, like for example,
yeah,
the letter call I did yesterday, that was from recent lessons in recent application. I was like, man, we gotta adjust this. And I was reading agreements and I was like, man, like this is also something they need to know. So I'm actively always involved in that because
yeah.
my learning, because I'm ahead, I need to also stay ahead. And
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
only way I
I
can
know what
do
you
that
mean. Yep.
is
Keep
continue
going.
applying this
Yeah,
stuff.
I know
Because if
exactly
I
what you
let
mean. Yeah,
go, I'll have no more value to give you guys.
yeah. I'm the same way with my credit repair clients. Now some of them ask me like, what's the next step? I'm like, well, just hold on. Let me figure out this a funded thing. So you know what I'm saying. So let me get funded first, then I got you. So I know what you mean. It do kind of push you to be like, I got a lot of people that I'm giving value to, and they really need this stuff.
Yeah, and you got
Yeah,
the right place. And like any questions you have about your clients, you're like, man, you drop it right in the Q&A, you're gonna get your answer as always,
yeah,
right?
I will. Yeah,
And that's the benefit, and that's the difference between this university and a lot of other places, because a lot of mentors aren't involved in the comment section like this. I'll give you an example. Like, you know, I I enjoy, working with him, but like with Don Kalam, like to get on the phone with him, it's like a $500 consultation.
mm,
You guys are dealing with me regularly in the messages,
yeah.
right?
But
Now I do charge
for
for
now,
phone
man, till you
call
get too big.
conversations. For like phone call consultations, I charge, but you guys have
Mm,
access to me right here. You don't need to set up a phone call me, drop your question, I'm answering it.
gotcha. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You guys don't need to pay if you're utilizing what I'm giving. So it's all inclusive.
it's crazy.
And that's the difference. So, and very shortly, you guys are going to be connecting with Angel, right? Angel hasn't, you haven't been able to see or connect with him, but he is the owner of Pure Movement, and he's a natural healer, right? And he's been in the game for over a decade and a half, and he's a natural healer. He heals degenerative cases like cancer, lupus, diabetes. He does all of that, and it's all documented. And he's
Mm,
once you guys start connected with him, we're talking about the health space. There's way
yeah,
more value than you guys think is in this university. You can get your health right just by following his 11 steps of vibrant health. Like this alone here is teaching people literally how to have better health without paying for that. Because when you go on the internet, people are teaching you what to eat, and they're making things very complicated. Very complicated. So it's all simplified here, and pretty soon we're going to be doing Q&As. He's going to be hosting them. We're just in the process of building all that stuff out to get more value to you guys. But this is, like I said, this is just the beginning. You guys are in the right place. You stick to this material. Don't be surprised a year from now you guys have escaped the matrix.
Well, this is so exciting. And Eric, I just noticed that when I logged into the school, all the courses are open now. You don't have to hit a certain status of comments or whatever to do it.
I did open more intentionally.
Oh,
So,
good.
for
Because I
example,
was kind of depressed. I couldn't get in some of the classes I wanted to get into.
well, for one,
you gotta start talking to us. You gotta
for
talk
one,
to us,
Steve,
girl.
you've actually leveled up. You've leveled up, so you probably unlocked them already at level 3.
Oh, good. Oh,
But
good. That's good to know.
I took a bunch of them from 4 and 5, and I put them in 3 because if at some point I'm starting to realize, like, for example, the sales campus is interconnected with the credit repair business automation, because the same exact sales script I use to close, hundreds and thousands of dollars a day on, right, is right here. Like I give you guys the same script I use to close sales.
Where's it at? It's in the credit repair campus
It's in the
client acquisition.
client sales
Okay.
and acquisition, right? It's in level 3. And I learned that from spending money on mentorships, buying books, and honestly not closing a sale for 6 straight months. I was running ads and I couldn't close sales.
Damn.
I was talking my way out of them.
People can be
Right.
mad at me for saying this, Eric, but I pay a lot more for a bunch of other, school classes on credit repair and things, and yours is by far the best. And so if you're completely or incorrectly priced, it should be hundreds a month.
I know, but here's the deal. I actually built this out one for individuals that couldn't afford the program that I was offering. So I did it at $50 a month because I know genuinely that individuals that typically don't have good credit don't have good finances.
That's very true.
So I'm like, all right, well, what's affordable? What's going to make sense for them? But at the same time, I'm
Yeah.
not giving it free because people don't appreciate free. I
Yeah,
mentioned
you're
this
right.
in one of our calls. I said,
You're exactly right.
it's human nature. Ever since we were kids, we were so accustomed to getting things for free from our parents. We didn't appreciate a meal that was on the table. We would just we would leave the plate half full and not know how much it costs, how much energy it took to put it on the table, right? And how much love. So the reason it's $50 is because once they put a little bit of something out of their pocket, out of their blood, sweat, and tears, now they're a little bit invested.
Yeah,
You know what
that
I'm
is
saying?
true.
So that's the idea and that's the psychology behind there being an actual amount on the other end of it, because it's not for me, it's for them. The amount isn't for me, it's for them. And one thing I will recommend when you guys are starting your credit repair business is don't do low ticket. Don't do like $300, $400, $600. Like use similar price points as I do, because I found that those lower tickets, they brought like low class clients. And what I mean is I gave more refunds at a $300 ticket than I did at a $1,500 and $1,800 ticket. I've never given a refund on an $1,800 ticket.
You're absolutely right. I have very high-end clients, and some of them when I give them to them a huge discount, they're always a problem.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you, Eric, about that, because I haven't experienced that yet. You refund if you just can't get the account off? Like what
No, what I refund based on the quality of the client, honestly. So sometimes I had clients who would like call me regularly and I would explain
they
to them,
aggravate you or something.
Yeah, I'm like,
got you.
this is business hours. Like I'm on the phone with other clients and like my phone's buzzing. And so I'd say, hey, look, like respectfully, like we can schedule a call. I'm here for you, but I have to tend to the rest of the other clients. You're not the only one. So I told him, I said, hey, if you're gonna keep calling me, I'd rather just give you your money back and you're at peace and you don't think that anything's happening.
Yeah.
Then you have to keep calling me while I'm in business. So I've done that with a few individuals, mainly not because of results. It was never because of results. It was mainly because of the quality of the client. And so what I mean is when I gave those low tickets, I was dealing with some individuals who were they didn't fit my criteria of who I'd rather deal with and build a relationship with. Because in the business of what we're doing, like all of my clients, I have relationships with. Like I'll call them, we'll talk, and we'll connect and we'll catch up. Like I'm helping their family. Like we're building relationships, and because it's very personal, and you're changing their life. So you're dealing with high level relationships. So I'd much rather deal with individuals who I can see myself working with long periods of time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not here for the money. The money is always going to come. And because I have that mindset, it always comes. So for me to try to keep money from someone, it's very, it's not abundant, right? It's just not abundant of anyone. And $300-$400 is not worth the headache.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Luckily,
I haven't experienced that yet with people just keep calling me. What I'm saying? But I ain't got as many people as you had too, though.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. When you start dealing volume, they're coming, man. When you start dealing with volume, they're coming, man. They're there. You just when you have the right price point, you don't really encounter those individuals because one, they have the money, which means that they don't stress about finances. The people who stress about finances operate out of lack spiritually. So they're in their mind, it's easy for them to think that you're going to scam them or do them wrong when you're genuinely not. Right?
Trying to help them.
So you can't really control that. So what in order to avoid that, we simply filter that through the price point. We're filtering that through and I learned that the moment I started shifting my prices, I was like, man, this makes sense. And then I realized that if you go too high, you're going to start losing deals.
Gotcha.
Right. So the way I actually structured it, right, and I share it with you guys here transparently.
You do a time frame.
Guys, you know how many sales I close on monthly reoccurring? My monthly reoccurrings are for 6 months. So I have 6 months of income for every client when they do reoccurring.
Yeah.
You understand the psychology behind that, right?
Yeah.
So I have individuals who are like, all right, I'll save $250 by simply choosing this option and paying it right now, or I can only put $175 down each month for the next 6 months. Right. And that's just for the standard program. And for the express program, it's $300 a month. So this bills out $300 a month in reoccurring, right? Every single month for 6 months. Now think about that as a business owner. It feels good because now all you need to do is have $300 a month coming in for each day of the month. And you have a 6-figure business. Think about that, guys.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's it right there, yeah.
Now, do you take credit card? I know you. I probably should watch the class or read the class.
So I actually share that. It's a really great question, Steve. So in the automation campus, I share the payment processors that I use. So I use Square primarily.
The invoice.
I use Square primarily because people can use a Cash App card. They can use Apple Pay. They can use a credit card to pay through the Square account. And for me personally, it allows me to track everyone's expenses. And I can set up reoccurring automated payments out of their accounts every month. So not only do I not have to think about when somebody owes me money, it sends reminders and lets me know someone didn't pay.
Now,
so does it automatically?
It's high risk. It's high risk.
What's high risk?
Like, credit repair is considered high risk, and they shut you down if they think you're doing credit repair.
Yep. And so what do I teach you to register your business as here under LLC?
Consulting.
Okay, I'll shut up. I'll listen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
You don't want to get just locked. Yeah, you don't want to get locked into this credit repair, especially if you're doing a lot of other stuff.
Because guess who got locked out of credit repair in Square? Me, this guy. So I'm giving I had an
issue with him too. I had to like send in like the ID, the girl ID, a screenshot of a text message. They had locked my account. I was like, dang.
Exactly. So if you pay attention to this right here, right, I tell you which NAICS codes to use when you're creating the account on Square. You're going to be using consulting. And when I write my invoices out, guess what my invoices say? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I also use these exact words. I use standard coaching program or standard consulting program or express consulting program or express coaching program.
Mm.
And when I do a consultation or I do like a down payment, I do a consulting fee. Because you're technically are consulting them, because the credit repair program does not actually consult. They just take your personal information, have you sign an agreement, and they repair for you. And you don't talk to them. If anyone has ever worked with Lexington Law, you don't talk to anybody. Right? So because we're using consulting, it's not flagging anything. Right? I'm doing tens of thousands a month on Square, guys. Like,
So let me ask you. So I just had. So if you do the Square and you set it up through the bank account, does it automatically come out the account, or they gotta because I had everybody right. I haven't got the second payment yet. It's kind of been like first payment type thing.
So, but when it comes to Square, if let's say, Teddy, you pay me today, it's going to end up in your bank account by the end of tonight or tomorrow morning. It's a 24-hour process. When you do the
ACH. See,
the
I've been,
ACH,
yeah,
it's not really ACH, it's actually the express payout. So it like pays you out automatically within 24 hours. Right? So it pays you out automatically within 24 hours. It goes right into your bank account within 24 hours.
But like, does it on the client end? Do they have to do anything?
So on the client end, all they have to do is put their credit card information and pay.
The first time or every time? Okay.
The first time,
so
because
be good then. Okay.
you could set up your Square account to save their payment and charge it every month.
That's how I did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can save the payment and charge it every month. So you can set it up that way. So that's why I like Square. I also still use Stripe. I mean, I never ruled it out. I just created a new one and I did consulting. I never had any issues since. I've had to verify it after I hit like I think 25,000 like at one point last year. Like they had me, submit like my business documents all over again, and that was it. I was cleared. They just wanted to verify.
That's something right there. Dispute Fox. So that's like the software you just upload the AI kind of do everything for you.
So with Dispute Fox, I'm gonna explain to you how I use Dispute Fox. Because my team processes disputes through the CFPB, just like I teach.
Yeah.
Our business spends no money on mailing out letters.
Exactly. Yeah.
Imagine for each client, you spend
$5
to $6 per round, and you have 100 clients.
I was doing it.
That's $600 a month.
Crazy. And time.
Yeah. So the way I teach you guys is the way I learned, because guess what? I wanted to be overseas and help people fix their credit. Yeah. So I found a solution. And that solution is to processing it online through the methods that I teach you. You don't have to go to no post office. You don't need to spend money on certified mail. You need to do any of that. You can actually do it all online. And with Dispute Fox, it gives you features to do things like also perform a power of attorney notary.
Damn.
You can pay for a power of attorney notary right through Dispute Fox, right? While we only use it for very specific occasions, whether that's sending a round 3 late payment letter where it needs to be notarized, we don't really use it much. It's only when we're getting ready to send an official document out.
Yes.
The rest, we just follow the same process that I teach you guys in the campus, and you simply go through it step by step and follow it through, and you guys are doing it right from your laptop. You don't need to leave the house. You're comfortable. You don't have to waste gas money and time and energy and money. Like, you're saving not only time, but also money.
Which is very important, man. I was sending them dispute letters out, sending certified mail, and
trust me.
Man, you say you do it online. I say, what? Okay.
Yeah. Man. I mean, it was at a point where I actually even shared how to mail.
Yeah, I seen it. I see it in there.
Right. Yeah. So I got to the point where, guys, I found a solution on top of solution, right? Like, there's so many alternatives that people can leverage here without having to leave their house, because, I like to say it this way. I'm lazy, but I'm not lazy. Like, I just don't want to do anything extra. So I'm going to put all my energy into figuring out a way I didn't have to do it. And that's how I ended up finding these solutions. I'm like, how do I avoid going to that post office?
Yeah, I hate it too. I went about the print.
So that's how I think. And that's how I ended up, finding all these new solutions, is by simply searching for alternatives. And everything I'm teaching you guys is not only to help you efficiently run your credit repair business, but to also save time and money. Because even if you are an established business, you start mailing it out, that's still overhead expenses. As soon as you hit 100 clients, that's $600 a month, 50 clients, $300 a month on letters, just each round.
It's funny because CFPB is great if you're overseas, because sometimes you don't have to, do the portals for the bureaus. But I've noticed CFPB lately, because of Doge and things like that, they're taking a long, long time. Have you noticed that?
No, they're actually not. It's the thing is with the CFPB is they take 60 days to close it out, but the bureaus receive it within 4 days.
Okay, so you haven't had because I've submitted things to Equifax and Experian, and it's taken quite a while.
So with Equifax and Experian, I'm going to explain to you what to do when it feels like it's taken a while. All you have to do is, so when you look at my onboarding email, notice how when we send this onboarding email to every new client, right? We welcome for being onboarded. We explain to them, right? This is our affiliate link. This is why I shared this with you. So every new customer, I make reoccurring income from when they sign up with this link, right? So because that's also another, this one covers all my other expenses. It covers my DocuSign, my dispute box, my go high level, like just having this initial piece. So if you got like an upwards of say even 20, 30 clients, that's like a smooth $150, $200 a month that you guys can use back into your business. So this is already a win. So we're automatically having them sign up with this link.
Exactly.
And
Yep. You
I
getting
also
that back.
offer exactly. I also offer
I
an
did that with
alternative.
Ava today. I had somebody
Yep,
sign up through Ava to build his credit, and I got $20
exactly,
off the. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, need to push
exactly.
that out more. Yeah.
And because of this, what you're doing is you're also you're making it easy for you because My Free Score now allows you to see all your members in one snapshot. So you're not having to log in 50 million times for every and keep track of everyone's login. Right? It tells you which clients need to update their payment info, which clients are suspended, which ones are have unsubscribed. It tells you everything in that one report, right?
Mm.
So
Oh,
that's
no,
the
that's
cool thing about
unique.
that.
I've
That's
been
crazy.
using Smart Credit, and so okay, this is
Yeah,
really
that's crazy.
very good.
Yeah, My Free Score now gives you all of that, right? And they just recently launched it's called the snapshot. It's called a free credit snapshot. So they don't even have to put in the credit card info for you to do a consultation with a new client. You click on this link, they just put in their info and it'll give you a snapshot of what their credit situation is like. For no credit card is submitted in this process.
Mm. Yeah,
Where
so they
the
don't trust it. Yeah, they can go ahead and just
yeah,
do it. Yeah,
and where the original one usually requires them to pay $1.
yeah,
But I'm going to tell
crazy.
you another thing, guys. Anyone that's not willing to pay $1
Yeah,
to open their credit
bullshit.
file does not want
Crazy.
to, like, they're
Mm-hmm.
not serious. Like, that's the end of story. Like, that should be your telltale sign that they're not ready for credit repair. They're not willing to invest $1 to like pull their own credit report that they need to look at.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good one to use. And in this email, I also asked them all to provide these credentials, right? So they provide their Experian link, Equifax link, and TransUnion link. And I also emphasize that the account is free because they are free,
Mm-hmm.
right? While they all offer paid credit monitoring services, I always tell them the free account. Why? Because we're able to pull their report every 30 days directly and we get more frequent updates. So if you're an individual who has access to your client's file and they are in a time constraint, I'm going to teach you some game. What you can do is have them go into their Experian account and change the email on file to your business email. So for verification, you verify through your email and you don't have to bother them. And they can change it later when the repair is done.
Okay, so look. I don't mean to cut you off. I heard you say that you was talking to somebody else and you mentioned that. I
Yep.
was I actually after you said it, I actually went and bought a business email just for that, but I haven't used it yet because I was thinking, what if you get three clients and they all sign? So they can't sign up with the email. They got to sign up with their own email first and then change it.
No, they sign up with the email and then once you in there, it's like 2 steps to change it. All it's going to
So
do is send
so,
you a verification code to change it.
but initially have them use their personal email.
Yep.
I got you, and then change it once. Okay, I got you.
Yep.
Dang. Yeah, because boy, logging in and trying to get them codes, that's a whole other thing. And I be
It
working in the middle of
is.
the night half the time. It'd be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm up doing this, and I'm like, man, I can't even do nothing because they probably
You
sleep.
can't do anything. Yep. So
Yeah,
you can tell
that's
them
crazy.
to update it, right?
Yeah.
So that's an alternative. That's another secret hack, right? That's some game.
That's what
Um,
I'm saying, man. Your stuff fire, bro. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm doing that tonight.
Absolutely. And with that, like I said, you don't have to, because I run into that issue with a lot of our clients. Like we have high ticket clients that pay for very expedited services, and then it's like you're messaging them all day and they're not
Mhm.
responding. And it's like you want results, but you won't even answer my messages for a one-time code, right? And again, that's where I ended up coming up with that solution. And I just have it linked to my team, right? Like I have a link to my team.
Yeah.
My team goes and they access it, my team's email. So I use Google Mail, Google business email services, and I created an email or individual emails for my team, right? So they literally have their email name with my company name at the end of it, right? So mine is support
Yeah.
at E&A Consulting. Well, my team's name is like my team name at E&A Consulting.
Yeah.
So it's very helpful. And with that, I'm able to communicate with my team through email, in the same channels. Like we forward info to each other, etc. And it works very in sync. But this is exact email I send to every single individual that starts with us. I give them 24, 40 hours before we process anything because obviously we need a couple days to look at your file, put together a game plan, onboard you on Dispute Fox, and so forth.
This is all amazing. You know what's interesting? I love everything. The only thing I kind of question is Dispute Box because I think it sucks. I've switched back to Credit Repair Cloud. I had Dispute
Yep,
B. I had this, and I even use Dispute Panda, which is very cute branding, but it kind of sucks too. But
yeah.
the Credit
So
Repair Cloud, take a look. It's gotten very good now.
so with Dispute Fox, I'm gonna explain to you why I use Dispute Fox. Dispute Fox, I don't actually dispute with Dispute Fox. I minimally dispute with Dispute Fox. We still use the same process that I teach. Now, with Dispute Fox, because all of our clients have their own secure portal and they feel good being able to log in and see where their disputes are, it saves us time from
Oh.
explaining anything to them. So they'll log in, they'll be able to see I've got 9 updated accounts. I have 1 negative still. I have 1 deleted since last month, right? My score went down, my score went up. Like it's a one-stop shop. All their documents are there, their info, it's organized. So this is like our client management space, more so than where
Man,
we
I'm getting
dispute.
that
We dispute
tonight.
using the same process, right? We
I'm
dispute
doing that
using the
tonight.
same process.
Mm.
And the cool thing with Dispute Fox, my brother, is I'll teach you some. Use an email that you don't use, and it's free for 30 days. So use an email that you don't care about, create an account with Dispute Fox, play around with it until you're ready to pay that 129 a month, right? That's what I
Yeah,
did. I was
exactly.
like playing around with it, like, okay, this is how this works, cool. Until I decided when I was ready to leverage it with my team, right? And I mainly use the Spew Fox for my team, not for me, because I didn't use it until I had a team.
Gotcha.
But
So
if you
like,
need
so
a
like, what
place
were
to
you
manage your
using?
clients,
When you had like those 50 clients, you were saying what was you using? You just
I use an Excel spreadsheet and a notebook.
so pretty
I
much what
was
I'm doing now.
manual, bro.
I got
I was
pretty much that's what I'm
manual,
doing
bro.
now.
I
I
was
got
doing
you.
everything. I was doing everything the hard way. I was building an operation and trying to figure out what worked, what was efficient without spending money.
Yeah,
Because remember, in the game of business, it's all money in. Now
yeah,
remember,
yeah, yeah,
when I did all the math here, when you add all this up, go a high level DocuSign, then you have a team, that's $1,000 a month. You got to be ready to pay. And let's say you didn't have it's about 270 a month. On top of that, if you're mailing the letters, that's another 600 a month or 300 a month. Like it adds up quick.
yeah.
Before you know it, you're like, man, I need to make more money because this stuff adds up, right? And this is just come to show you like my business overhead, right, is somebody's rent, right? And it's like, and that's just like my credit space. Like we haven't even talked about ads, right? I'm spending about 1,500 a month on ads. So it's like that adds up. All of it adds up like over time.
Is that 129 the lowest that they have, or is it like more
Yeah,
expensive when you go
yeah,
get a team?
129 is the lowest to
That's the low.
have.
I got you.
That's why I was like, I'm giving you the exact blueprint I use. I had a couple emails. I obviously used an email that I didn't want to use. I didn't want to lose. So it doesn't make a difference what email you use, but I prefer certain emails because I created them into intended purposes. Like some emails I use for just like subscriptions. So all my junk mail goes there. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So
That's
I don't have
smart.
to, it doesn't have to like all go into different emails. Like I have certain emails where I have to delete every day on certain email accounts because it's all like subscription and junk.
Yeah.
So like my business email has no subscriptions. Like it's strictly business, so it's clean. It's never piling up with
Yeah.
unnecessary things. So I create my emails with intention, so I don't have to worry about having to go through and clean it every couple of days or so.
Gotcha.
So, but that's an opportunity. It's completely free for 30 full days, man. If you have multiple emails, you can do it for 3-4 months just learning it.
Yeah, I am.
You know,
I'm getting on that tonight. I promise you. Because
just by
I
learning
would
it.
I was just thinking like a way I need a better. Because I mean I don't mind doing it manually. I don't got 50 people, but it's kind of picking up, and I'm like let me try to find a better way, a faster way to do this. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I definitely can tap into some of that software, especially if the clients can log into it and check their own disputes and kind of see that for themselves. That I like that too. Because I'm like you, I talk to them. I tell them hit me up, text me anytime. But like I said,
Oh
I'm only
yeah.
dealing with probably like 10 or 12 people right now. So I ain't
That's
really,
that's
yeah,
all I do, man. That's
yeah.
all I do. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna get to a point where you run into one client that changes the whole game for you. I had one client bring
Yep,
me like 10, 15 people. One
yep,
person.
yep. Just that
That one person, I
you do
think,
a good job, and then they talk about
yeah, that one person brought me his whole family. And I had like,
it.
I think I went from like just that family brought me, I think it was like 2K a month for like 5-6 months.
Crazy.
And that
That's
changed the
crazy.
game for
Yeah.
me because I took that money and I put that right into ads. I put it into all these other
Mm.
things. Like I reinvested it back into the business because I knew that was my opportunity. I was like, man, like it's not every day you're gonna have this type of,
Yeah.
client
You
to
go hit
bring you
like
all
that.
these
Yeah.
these referrals.
That's
So
crazy.
it's just a matter of time, man. And the more you
Yeah.
do, the more you're gonna get, and that's just the name of the game.
Yeah.
This is so
I
interesting
have
because Eric, yeah, I've been doing this a long time, probably a lot longer than you, no offense. And I'm looking at your module here because I'm finally in it because you opened it up to everyone. I'm doing everything wrong.
what are you
You're
doing
so
wrong?
good. You're so good. Like I don't automate this. I mail things. I use credit repair cloud. I don't use go high level. My website
Yeah.
says credit repair all over it. I take Zelle. I don't take credit. Oh my God, I do everything wrong.
Yeah, I do everything to automate. It's automation systems because in
Save
this game,
time,
if you
man.
want to scale, in order to scale, you need to be able to do it without you being involved.
This is astonishing. This is good shit. Oh wow.
You know?
That was a bar.
Yeah.
So
You
that
need to
was
be
a
able
bar.
to do it. Like you guys don't even know with DocuSign, you can assign a delegate and they can handle all your contracts for you.
Mm.
In Go High Level, I can add an admin and my admin can manage all my leads. Like all of these are systems built for you to scale and grow into a 6-7 figure business. That's the only way to do that. Right? I grew mine to 6 figures in a year. All because I started building systems. But I grew very fast. And the reason I grew fast, right? I would say a year, I say year and a half, because the first 6 months I was like zero money. Like I was making nothing.
Yeah.
Right? But that was the
You were
best, that
learning
was the
though.
best,
You were
that was
learning,
the
yeah.
best part of my business. That was actually the best part of my business was all of that, all those failures I had in the very beginning are the reason I have the info I have now.
Yeah.
Right? But
Man.
I'm telling you, when you start running ads, guys, I don't even know how to explain it to you, man. You can start at $20 a day, which is $600 a month. and that'll bring you 2-3 leads a day, every day.
2-3 sales a day.
2-3 leads.
Lead. Okay, you still
Right?
got to close them. Yeah, you still
You
got
still
to
gotta
close them.
close them, right?
Yeah, but shoot, that's 60 to 90 though.
here
Yeah,
I
I'm
opened
with
up.
it.
This is why I opened up here at the bottom, booking/closing sales, right? When you run
Yeah,
ads,
I
I
see
have
it.
the campus link. You click it, it brings you right to learning how to close sales because you guys need to master this. You know, eventually I'll do role plays with you guys. We'll get on calls, we'll make each other uncomfortable. You know, put you guys on the wall. I'm like, you gotta have to sell me. You know what I'm
You
saying?
go
I'm gonna have to
Andy
sell
Elliott,
you.
bro. You
You
with
know what
the
I'm
Andy
saying?
Elliott, man.
Yeah. I mean, this is all part of growing, guys. So I
Yeah,
think this is going to be a good opportunity for especially people who really want to grow their business. If you can't close sales, your leads mean nothing.
yeah,
I've
true.
been in that situation. I had a ton of sales and like I was a ton of leads and I wasn't closing them because I was talking my way out of it. So this campus, you know, it's game changer. That's what changed my business, the closing of the sales. Because I'd get on the phone and before you know it, I'm locking in deals. I was closing at 20%. So I'd have 100 leads out of 100. I close those 20 in that month. That's a lot of clients in 1 month.
Yeah.
At 1,000 a piece,
Boy, you got me on something tonight, bro.
right? At 1,000 a piece,
Dang.
even if they finance with you and they do 175 a month, like that's 20 class 2K a month, 2-3K a month you just made off of
Yeah,
closing 20% of your
yeah,
sales. Only 20.
yeah,
Let's say you close 10, you're still making 1,500 a month every month for 5-6 months.
yeah.
Now you just need to
And
keep
then
doing it every month
yep,
and
every month
compiling it
pile
and
up.
building up
Pile up.
and build
Yep.
it up, build it up.
Third
And
month, fourth month, you
that's
looking good.
third, fourth month.
Yeah,
Now you need
yeah,
to double down so that by the 5th and 6th month cycle, you're not having to start fresh. You know what I'm saying? You're
yeah,
always
yeah.
building that momentum.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So it's strategy, right? And I'm going to give you one last thing before we go, right? In this particular psychology of the sales, guys, I'm going to break down why I close so many on this. I tell people that their results, right, are going to be much faster. Actually, they say 90. Their results are going to be much faster, right? And the reason I give these windows is because we execute with our process pretty fast, right? But the challenge is, but the thing is when you tell your clients a certain thing, they're going to hold it against you. If I tell them 30 to 90 days and we get it done within 30, they're going to be like, yo,
Yeah, he good.
right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you tell them exactly when you're doing it and you don't pull it through,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a whole nother story.
they gonna
So
talk junk.
you always want to undersell and over deliver. Undersell, over deliver. And then in this particular case, what I do is I sell them in this particular case. I say, okay, well, we offer two options. We have a one-time payment and we also have financing, and it's over 6 months. So you don't necessarily have to pay everything at once. You could break it down over 6 months. And before we get to that point, I always know how quickly they want to actually fix their credit. So you'll know that once you read the sales campus, you'll know what it says in the script in the beginning, right? I asked them specifically, is this a now thing or a later thing for you? Guys, I don't even take the call as soon as they say later. Because I've run into situations where I've had these individuals on the phone with me for an hour and they just wanted to hear me talk.
Waste your time.
I'm not getting that hour back.
Yeah,
So what I
yeah,
do is in the very beginning of the sales script, I'm like, okay, cool. So, you're at this score. All right, well, is this a now thing or a later thing for you? And they're going to tell me, oh, it's a later. All right, cool. Hey, since this is a later thing, when would be a good time for us to schedule this later and discuss, when you're ready? You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's how I flip the switch with them, because I'm not necessarily turning them down. I'm just like, okay, cool. Since you want to do it later, we can talk about it later. But right now we're getting off the phone so I can tend to people who want to do this
Yeah.
now, right? So I always find that out. Once I find that out, and let's say they're like, I want to do this now. What's your window? What's your goal? You know, I want to as soon as possible. Okay, well, soon as possible is something that, you know, since you want to get it done as soon as possible, I recommend you leverage our express program. Why? Because we can get this done for you within 30 to 90 days max. It's the fastest program available, and it's aligned with your goal. And then they're going to ask you, what's the price? All right, cool. Well, you ask about price. We offer 2 payment plans. We offer a one-time payment, or we offer a financing option. What would you prefer? Pay over time, or would you rather just pay it all at once? And then I tell them, I'm like, oh, well, if you want to start today at financing, you start with 300 down, and then it'll be 5 payments of 300. And then you don't say anything. You never say anything after that. Then they ask me about the other program because they want to see. I'm getting feedback. Because they want to see how much the other program is. Right? So because they want to see how much the standard program is, I tell them it's 175 down and 5 months of 175. Then they realize that the 300 and the speed is not that much of a difference in payment, and I'm always closing express. I have more express sales closed than standard. Statistically.
So
statistically, you have double the amount. So out of standard, I have double the amount of express than I do standard.
Because the express faster. So once they see
express faster and they see that the price is close, they're like, an extra 125 a month to get this done faster.
Where's the time frame on express? I don't see the time frame on the standard though.
Oh, so standard, I tell them 2 to 5 months.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So it's still around the same time though, but the way you say
it's a little bit faster.
I need you guys to understand, guys. It's all psychology.
Yeah.
So 2 to 5 months, right, is technically 60 to 120 days, 150 days, right? Versus 30 to 90. So it's almost, you know.
Oh, you saying months and days.
I'm saying months and days.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. You saying months and days.
You understand? As soon as you start throwing months in there, they're like, damn, months and it's only like extra 120.
Well, you hear.
Bro, I've been doing this. I've done this. I've done way too many calls, man. And I realized I started closing more express and making more money when I worded things different, structured my payments different, offered different opportunities, because it made more sense to them and it sounded better.
Man.
Right? So everything's psychology, and you learn this in the sales campus.
Yeah, I gotta go check that out too, man. Man, I've been real. I'm gonna change my whole little structure.
Right? You learn all this in the sales campus because I teach you guys how to close sales in the sales campus. But this is all really just pricing strategy and understanding how to communicate the price to the client, right? Anytime a client ever asks you the price up front, you never give it to them.
Yeah.
Never give it to them.
Yeah.
Because why are you telling them the price? They don't even understand the value of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't know the value of it.
Because the moment you give them a number, their immediate thought is, let me go look for somewhere cheaper. That's human nature. That's just how it is naturally. Like, can't control that. They're like, oh, that much? All right. You know, let me think about it. You know, or they're going to bring up a wife example and stuff. And I show you how to deflect all that stuff from the very beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a really productive Q&A call. Like, this was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, you guys asked a lot of amazing questions, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to ask them, because not everyone is ready to just ask questions, right? So,
you
know, there's definitely more we can cover on each of these calls. But for those of you who hadn't already seen yet, I dropped a cast your vote for the next 3 calls. So right now, everyone is interested in the credit repair automation business class.
Ironically.
Right?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So,
Ironically. Yeah.
exactly.
Yes,
So
I'm
we got
glad
a
that
couple.
module's opened
I'll
up.
be there, man. I'm locked
Yeah.
in. I'll definitely gonna be there for real.
So we got
Yeah.
the negotiable instruments, we got AT&T agreement and getting paid for late payments. So we got, some votes. Definitely looking forward to seeing more over the week. But again, I was doing this before to give everyone an opportunity to really like work on things that they are aligned with and get the opportunity to really be engaged in something. So I took it down because I was going through very specific material for some time. But I'm gonna start rolling these out each week just so that I make sure everyone, at least we're still staying aligned with you guys as individuals, because there's some of you were here for a month, some of you are here for 2 weeks, some of you have been for 6 months, right? So not everyone is like looking to hear the same stuff over and over, right? So this is a good opportunity for you guys to kind of pick and choose. But awesome. I'm gonna let you guys go. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you guys on Sunday's call. All right, I'll be obviously announcing what our Sunday, Monday, Tuesday call is on Saturday, and we'll go from there. Other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your week.
All right, bro. Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you,
you,
Eric.
man.
You're the best.
Oh yeah.
All right, take care.
All right.
Right, y'all.